Lieutenant Powell, I'm Colonel Hargrove from the Office of Strategic Services, the OSS. Our branch specializes in covert operations, usually deep behind enemy lines. Espionage, sabotage, infiltration. That's the business we're in, Lieutenant. As you know, Germany's famed Africa Corps has captured key locations along the southern coast of the Mediterranean and is now digging in. Our response, in coordination with our British allies, is an invasion of North Africa. The attack is codenamed Operation Torch. This is it, Lieutenant. Our first large-scale offensive of the war. While everything you hear in this room is classified top secret, what I'm about to tell you is extremely sensitive and only known by a select few. The Germans have positioned artillery batteries along the coast, several of which overlook our intended landing zone. A British SAS operative has penetrated enemy lines at the town of Arzou on the Algerian coast. His mission was to sabotage these batteries, then give the all-clear signal to start the invasion. Yesterday, however, all contact with that agent was lost. The enemy's artillery positions remain intact, and the SAS officer's capture could compromise the entire operation. You and a small squad of your fellow Rangers will infiltrate Arzou under cover of darkness. Your goal is to destroy the coastal batteries and rescue the captured agent. You'll receive specific details of the mission once you're in the field. The SAS operative is Major Jack Grillo, a man I've known for years. He would never allow himself to give up what he knows to the Germans, so please find him before he's forced into taking drastic measures. No doubt about it, this is a critical mission, Lieutenant. Your team has trained hard, and I have every confidence you'll get the job done. Good luck. Outstanding work in North Africa, Lieutenant. Operation Torch was a success. With our forces pressing Rommel from the west and Montgomery's British troops closing in from the east, it looks like the Africa Corps' days are numbered. Major Grillo was quite impressed with your actions, and he specifically requested you for this next mission. Again, what I'm about to tell you is top secret. As you may know, our primary advantage against the German U-boat threat lies in our ability to detect them with ship and airborne radar. Unfortunately, we've learned that the Kriegsmarine has developed a new piece of equipment, a kind of radar detector called the Naxos, which will enable wolfpacks to find the blind spots in our patrol sweeps and once again attack Allied convoys with impunity. This would give the enemy a tremendous advantage, shifting the balance of power in the Atlantic back to the Germans. The British are researching a way to neutralize this new technology, but I fear it won't be ready in time to prevent the carnage that could result from this Naxos detector being deployed by our enemy. Major Grillo has infiltrated a Kriegsmarine U-boat base in Trondheim, Norway, where the Naxos program has reached the prototype phase. Your mission is to rendezvous with the Major, assist in destroying the existing prototype unit, and steal whatever research documents you can find. This action should set the enemy back long enough to give the British time to develop an effective countermeasure. The Allied convoys that traverse the North Atlantic are the lifeblood of the war effort, Lieutenant. Let me be clear. This Naxos prototype must be destroyed at any cost, no matter what may happen to you or Major Grillo. Your transport, manned by the Norwegian resistance, departs at 0400 tomorrow, so get some rest. You'll receive additional briefing material once you're established in the field. Good luck, Lieutenant. I expect to shortly see you and the Major back here in London. Excellent work in Norway, Lieutenant, under very difficult circumstances. Thanks to your efforts, the Kriegsmarine wolfpacks that once terrorized the North Atlantic have been decimated over the past year by our naval and aerial patrols. With Allied shipping lanes secure, the door is now open for the invasion of Europe that we've been planning since the start of this bloody war. It's called Operation Overlord, and we're breaching Hitler's Atlantic Wall through the Normandy coast. The Germans know we're coming, and coming soon, but we've got them thinking that the invasion will be at Calais, well north of the actual landing beaches. This will be the largest amphibious invasion in history, Lieutenant, and you're going to be in the group that's leading the charge. Now, we may have numbers on our side, but we don't have the experience. Most of our troops are fresh out of basic training, and they need true combat veterans like you to help lead the attack. That's why I've reassigned you to the 2nd Ranger Battalion. The landings will take place across 5 beaches, codenamed Gold, Juno, Sword, Omaha, and Utah. The British will land at Sword and Gold, the Canadians at Juno, and the Americans at Omaha and Utah. You'll be going ashore at Charlie sector of Omaha Beach, just west of the Dog One exit. Although the beaches are not as fortified as they are at Calais, the Germans have left no spot undefended. Every inch of beach is covered by machine guns and artillery, and the place is surrounded by miles of barbed wire and countless minefields. One more thing, Lieutenant. Try to keep in mind that this is the largest and most complicated operation that we've ever attempted, and in my experience, whenever things get complicated, things go wrong. But no matter what happens, I believe that with soldiers like you leading the way, we will prevail with this Allied assault. Good luck at Omaha Beach, Lieutenant, and Godspeed. Good to see you're still with us, Lieutenant. The landings at Omaha, especially Dog Green and Charlie sector, were very, very tough. We lost a lot of good men. While we've established a strong beachhead along the coast, finding out what the Germans are planning next is key to the success of our Normandy campaign. The French resistance has reported a shift of enemy troops south from the Calais region right into the path of our advancing troops. 2 formidable German units are assembling just outside St. Lo. We believe they're using a manor house as a command post to organize a counteroffensive. We need you to find that command post, infiltrate it, and obtain any tactical data you can regarding the enemy's battle plans. One of our most trusted agents in the resistance, a young woman named Manon Baptiste, will be there to lend you a hand. One more thing, Lieutenant. Intelligence reports indicate that the Germans have deployed a new tank into the field, a type bigger than anything we've seen before. This model has been appropriately designated the King Tiger, and we believe the Germans have transferred some of these new tanks to the command post. Your order to gather information on the capabilities and hopefully the weaknesses of this new threat. Good luck, Lieutenant. I know the mission is in capable hands. Excellent work on your intelligence gathering mission, Lieutenant. This information will be much appreciated by our units advancing through Normandy. Now for your next assignment. As we speak, 3 divisions from the U.S. 7th Corps are closing in on the second largest port in France, the city of Brest. The German commander of this port has over 50,000 troops in the region, as well as several heavy coastal defense batteries, which he's turned around to fire inland at our advancing troops. Command has put together a daring plan to improve the Allied chances of capturing Brest. By securing a key estuary crossing into the region, we'll be able to move troops and armor in rapidly and apply more pressure to the besieged city. Time is of the essence, but we don't have enough armor in the area to punch through to the bridge, so we're going to liberate a King Tiger tank from the Germans. Thanks to the documents you acquired from the enemy command post, the OSS was able to quickly train a veteran American tank crew on how to operate this armored behemoth. Lieutenant, they will be the men you lead on this mission. You'll meet them at a rally point on the outskirts of Landenau, a town about 25 kilometers northeast of Brest. Your assignment is a dangerous one. Capture a King Tiger, blast your way across enemy territory to the estuary, and hold the bridge until an Allied tank unit from the 6th Armored Division can reinforce your position. Fighter Command will be there to back you up, and will give you all the artillery support we can muster. But I have a feeling the success of this mission may ultimately rest on the actions of one man. Good luck. Last November, one of your fellow operatives, Lieutenant James Patterson, destroyed a secret mustard gas production facility along the Siegfried Line at a place called Fort Schmerzen. Unfortunately, new intelligence suggests that Schmerzen's commander, one Colonel Muller, has somehow restored the fort back to full operation. The OSS has received reports of trains headed towards the fort hauling prisoners of war out of the Hurtgen forest. It's possible Schmerzen is simply a stopover point for POWs being moved east, but my gut feeling is Muller has something more nefarious going on. Your orders are to permanently wipe this facility off the map. To this end, we formed a special assault force of Rangers handpicked from your old unit. They'll be bringing along enough high explosive to reduce Schmerzen to rubble once and for all. We're sending you in first, Lieutenant, to cut the lines of communication between Schmerzen and the rest of the world. After that, you'll need to intercept and commandeer the POW train that's headed to the fort. It'll serve as the Trojan horse that delivers you and your fellow Rangers into the Schmerzen compound. From there, you'll have to fight your way down to Schmerzen's lower level, plant the charges, and get out as fast as you can. Needless to say, make sure that any POWs you encounter are clear of the blast. You're dismissed. Good.
On the eve of this great adventure, I send my best wishes to every soldier in the Allied team. To us is given the honor of striking a blow for freedom which will live in history. Men will speak with pride of our doings. We have a great and a righteous cause. Let us pray that the Lord, mighty in battle, will go forth with our armies. I want every soldier to know that I have complete confidence in the successful outcome of the operations that we are now about to begin. With stout hearts and with enthusiasm for the contest, let us go forward to victory.
I assume that the German leaders are not deeply concerned tonight or any other time by what we Americans says or publishes about them. We cannot bring about the downfall of Nazism by the use of long-range invective. But when you see a rattlesnake poised to strike, you do not wait until he is struck before you crush it. These nasty submarines and raiders are the rattlesnakes of the Atlantic. It is clear to all Americans that the time has come when the Americas themselves must now be defended.
We have before us an ordeal of the most grievous kind. We have before us many, many long months of struggle and of suffering. You ask what is our policy? I will say it is to wage war by sea, land, and air, with all our might, with all the strength that God can give us, to wage war against a monstrous tyranny never surpassed in the dark and lamentable catalogue of human crime. That is our policy. You ask, what is our aim? I can answer in one word: victory. Victory at all costs. Victory in spite of all terror. Victory however long and hard the road may be. For without victory there is no survival. This time I feel entitled to claim the aid of you. And I say, come then, let us go forward together with our united strength. I have nothing to offer but blood, toil, tears, and sweat.
It's now June 1944. We hear that the enemy has ordered Rommel to fortify the shores of France with an Atlantic wall of steel and concrete. The Germans know we're coming. Hell, the whole world knows we're coming. Under the command of General Eisenhower, Allied forces are about to launch the biggest offensive in the history of modern warfare. Its code name, Operation Overlord. Word is we're landing troops, tanks, and supplies on Normandy. Our first move in pulling Europe out of Hitler's fist. The assault's a few hours away now. More than 7 divisions are gearing up to hit the beach. Eisenhower's already sent our bombers ahead to pound the bridges, railways, and fuel depots. Anything to cripple Nazi supply lines to the Atlantic Wall. No doubt the Germans expect us to hit the Atlantic Wall by sea. But the night before the dawn landing, our unit will parachute behind enemy lines. Along with the British 6th, we'll clear a path to move our army off the shore. The plan is to rendezvous with Allied troops from the beachhead, work our way back into France, and snuff out resistance along the way. God be with us. Sergeant Jack Barnes, June 5th, 1944. The hour is go. One's eyes close tight, and families fade. When going to war, which other men made. Though anxious and frightened, we don't let it show. For the day is approaching when the airborne must go. Each day now rolls past, we wait just the same. But D-Day is near, and for this we all came. The hour grows near. Each man feels it inside, and soon we'll be falling, with nowhere to hide. Our eyes are now down, and the chatter the same, each weapon now loaded. No longer a game. Eagles gather round, and bow your heads low. Europe awaits, and the hour is go. Planes rumble past as we wait our turn to fly over waters we have yet to earn. Checked buckles and stripes, left nothing to chance. The jumpmaster Stearns calls, "Welcome to France." Flak turns to fire in the blackest of night. Too low, too fast, can't jump from this height. There's no turning back. The risk has been taken. Free fall to hell. Paratroopers forsaken. Eagles hold tight, scattered prayers to survive. We'll hit the ground soon, whether dead or alive. As feet touch the ground, each soldier moves on. Confusion and fear are beaten and gone. The enemy is close, and sad they don't know. The airborne is here. It's time they must go. The hour is now. Hitler's had his last chance. On St. Michael's wings, we're taking back France. Winter has settled in for a long stay. Hitler is throwing all his troops into a major offensive through Belgium. Right where he started this lousy war 4 years ago. Our orders came down from General McCulloch. We're to hold the Bastogne line in the Ardennes forest. Even back home in North Dakota, I've never felt such cold. It's tough on the front lines. The boys are short on ammo and food. There aren't even enough winter coats to go around. Every day the odds look worse. But the word surrender has never entered our heads. Or as Colonel Abrams put it, they got us surrounded again, the poor bastards. Sergeant Jack Barnes, December 1944. The hills of Bastogne. The crops should be full in Belgium this year. The soil should be fertile. The price has been dear. For wheat should be red on the hills of Bastogne, for its roots have been drenched by the blood of our own. Battered and reeling, we stand in their way. It's here we are, and here we will stay. Embittered, wrathful, we watch our pals fall. God was the end of it all. Confident and powerful, they strike at our lines, but we beat them back, fighting for time. Berserk with fury, they are hitting us now. Flesh against steel. We'll hold. But how? For each day that we stay, more mothers must grieve. For each hill that we hold, more men must we leave. Yes, honor the men who will someday come home, and pray for the men 'neath the hills of Bastogne. Although the enemy has taken a beating on most fronts, they refuse to end the war quietly. This suits the Russians just fine. Georgy Zhukov, the Soviet general, is planning a major offensive to crush Berlin itself. Our side will back them up with air cover and ground support to the west. Once the Reds row their T-34s across the Oder River and into Berlin, I doubt they'll leave much standing. From what we've heard, the Soviets have their own heavy axe to grind with the fatherland. Something about 20 million dead. It's no longer a question of if the Germans are defeated. The question is when. Sergeant Jack Barnes, April 1945. That's something. It's funny how one can lie and remember things of days gone by, and in perhaps one short minute recapture a past year and all that's in it. Everyone stores up things that have passed. Some are forgotten, others will last. But a soldier who has been to war has in life's memory book something more. Something that can only be in the memories of men like you and me. Something that is born amidst shot and shell, develops and grows in times of hell. This comradeship, as it is known by us, of which we never make much fuss, is this something which in our minds was set in lands where many are lying yet? And so I remember from the start the friends I knew, now far apart. My soldiering is done, and I leave it behind. But that something comes with me in my mind. The fall of Berlin was a bloody nightmare of house-to-house combat. The Soviet losses were staggering. But from the moment Red soldiers raised their flag over the Reichstag, the Allies had sealed Germany's fate. The long war for Europe was over. Adolf Hitler, who had promised 1,000 years of pain, lay dead in his bunker. Soon they'll draft and sign the usual treaties, award their medals and campaign ribbons, build their memorials. But mourning the countless dead, that won't end in our lifetime. And to the generations that follow, I offer the hope and prayer that somehow we find our way to a lasting peace. Sergeant Jack Barnes, May 1945.